My name is Odell. I left the Navy as a first-class gunner's mate, E6. We had the ones that were really violent, you'd say, they stick out in your mind quite a bit. We had several things that happened to our crew that were just amazing, that things would change and the crew that took our place, or the people that took our place, were killed. Or we went into an area and something changed and the people behind us were shot. We had a crew that was exceedingly lucky. The one instance I want to talk about is March 13th. Happened March 13th, I remember it well. We were employed to go up into a small village where they supposedly had some Viet Cong, were collecting taxes. We were going to try to catch the Viet Cong, do some psyops in the village, and just generally patrol the area. We got ready to get underway and our engines didn't work. So everybody else in the other 4 boats took off without us. We stayed behind and were transferred over to another boat. That wasn't our boat. We had to quickly check it out, make sure it was armed, make sure it was fueled, make sure it could run, and then we ran as fast as we could to try to catch up with them. By that time, they'd already traversed into the river. We're up near the village, so this is the one time we went in by ourselves and came out by ourselves. So on this 23 boat, our crew, the ones that I talked about earlier, headed up the river with no other support. We were totally by ourselves. As we came by a fishing weir, which is a large line across the river with 2 posts stuck in the river, where they put fishing nets down to catch fish during tidal times, we went around on one side, and at this time we saw some people over there that were working on something, looking like Vietnamese farmers. We didn't know what we were doing, but they looked at us and waved, and we went on. We went on upriver, met them at the village, had a couple of, I think we walked around the village a little bit, and someone tried to blow up some rice that they thought were Viet Cong stores. Nothing all too exciting, but then we started back out the river. Now, at this time, we were always usually the lead boat, first one in line. This time we came out, for some reason, the 3 boat went ahead of us. Now, on the 3 boat was a real good friend of mine by the name of Wolf. He was a gunner's mate. He was up in the gun tub, and I could see him. Of course, we're up here above everybody else, and we can look out and go down. And we're headed down the river in this line. And they're number 1, we're number 2, and everybody else is lined up before us. When we get down to this fishing weir, three of our boats go to the left, 2 of the boats go to the right to go on either side of the fishing weir. Just as the 3 boat went by the fishing weir, which is the position we should have been in, the boat blows completely out of the water. And this is a picture I have to this day in my mind. This 50-foot boat, that how many tons it weighs, I don't know, lifts out of the water 6 foot in the air. And just this smoke and fire and water and debris just comes flying out. And we weren't 20 foot away from the fantail. Water came washing over the top of us. The boat just disappeared in a big bunch of smoke, and I knew at that instance that they were all dead, which luckily was not the case. Immediately went guns left, started firing because I thought that's where it was coming from. Fired for 30 seconds at least, raking the beach in all directions. The other boats on the other side were raking the beach on that side, and then we shut our guns down because there was no return fire. Kept vigilant, we're looking around. By this time people were in the water. The 3 boat was starting to sink, and we went alongside. We picked up 2 of the guys that were blown over the side of the 3 boat, our crew did, got them involved, and then we provided security while they were trying to get the 3 boat up. We were there probably another hour, hour and a half. No other fire. It turns out that there was some teenage kid down in a spider hole, and he put 2 wires together on a mine that blew this boat up. That was all that we ran into at that time, but completely destroyed a boat. Everybody on that boat was wounded. We got We did everything we could to provide medical care for them. Then we started working on the boat. I didn't. I was up in the gun tub providing security. But our crew went back and forth along with the crews of the other boats to work on it. They got the 3 boat out. About that time they said, we've got to have a pump to pump this boat out or we're going to lose it. So they tasked us to go out by ourselves again. We ran the complete length of the river back out, met up with an LST with a couple of damage controlmen and a big P250 pump, which is the type of pumps they have on board ship to pump out, transferred it to our boat, ran back in the river again alone, stuck this pump on the 3 boat, started pumping it out and tied onto it, towed it, got everybody out of the river, got the boat out of the river, and brought everybody back. And that's one of the thing that still sparks in my mind, that and another instance that happened, that we were supposed to be #1 in the line and we weren't, because for some reason somebody else took our place.